Welcome to M Hour, and today you with me, an aiming high monk who never get high, พระมหานภ สันติพัทโท I Behalf Foundation and Golden Mount Temple.
หลวงพี่สวัสดีครับพระอาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
เจริญพร
เป็นประสบการณ์ใหม่มากๆของเอ็มเหมือนกันครับกับการที่จะได้สัมภาษณ์คือสัมภาษณ์พระเนี่ยก็ปีละครั้งอยู่แล้วส่วนมากเพราะว่าเอ็มก็จะทำข่าวจะเป็นส่วนมากพอดีรายการตัวเนี้ยเป็นรายการภาษาอังกฤษวันนี้ก็จะได้สัมภาษณ์เป็นภาษาอังกฤษซึ่งก็ท้าทายอยู่แล้วและได้คุยกับพระเป็นภาษาอังกฤษด้วยในประเด็นศาสนาที่ก็อ่อนไหวด้วยซึ่งอยากให้สบาย
ๆใช่พออยากให้สบายแต่ขึ้นต้นจะเครียดเลยทีเดียว
First of all, this is a very important interview for AM Hour because I want to make Buddhism more accessible, easier for people to access to. So first of all, I want to start by like Buddhism. I might call it Buddhism 101. How should I address you?
Actually, in the Western world right now, they know monks know Buddhism very well. I heard that even the Taylor Swift song.It's called Gamma as well. So I think right now, Western people know how to address monk as a ajan or prajan. In the past, they call like venerable. So I think it's okay to call ajan or prajan.
So when you go abroad and meet foreigners, they call you prajan.
I think it depends. For example, with the organization who work with us.In terms of interreligious dialogue or sansevana in Thai, so they know how to address monks. Like for example, monks in Sri Lanka, they are called venerable as well. So they apply that into our culture. And also I also told them that in Southeast Asian culture, especially in Thai culture, maybe it's not polite if we call someone like who are respected, like monks or teachers.by just only first name. So that's why they call us monks like venerable or prajan. So feel free to call. Actually, you can call me Long Pi or prajan. So it depends to how to address monks. Even in Thai culture, it's quite difficult. Sometimes it's just like how we're gonna call him. Maybe he younger than me. Well, how can call Long Pi?It should be Long Nong, but it's normally in our culture. It's just like even you older than monk, you still call monk Long Pi if you like quite close because in the past in the culture it's just like monk is like your family member because they are in your community. So Long Pi, Long Na, Long A, Long Lung. But if you call me Long Po, I'm gonna be a bit sad because in terms of age, we can because actually we're friends.on Facebook as well, right? And to be honest, actually, I got inspired by your review when you got Shipping Scholarship, and to talk with you, it kind of my dream come true.
Thank you very much. And we actually had I would call a lovely exchange and a good session for me to learn whether can I press love button.for
monk's opinion or monk message, something like that. I remember that you asked that, and also even the haha, right? So like, can I press love button on the monk's message or something like that? Definitely yes. So I don't think it can be considered as a like disrespect, because.I myself in the past also learned to adjust as well. Monk press and the heart like rising, it felt a bit weird. But at the end, I felt like because actually the reason that Buddhism in Thai society right now because of love of the Buddha, and because of Thai people, monks and lay people love what he taught. I mean what the Buddha taught. So why not? So we should spread love, not hatred.Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The fourth one would be before we start the interview, we actually provide you a small cushion, and this is just some sort of a formality. And can you explain to me why we need to provide you cushion for your seating?
Because as you can see, because in Thai we always have what you call drama. Because Thai people, Thai Buddhists, normally they feel that.lay people is like someone like you, Yat Yom, who not a monk. So Thai Buddhists always want to see monks sitting on their higher level than lay people. So that's why on their television show or even in the event, normally they're going to provide something like in this case, we have this. But originally in the Vinaya, according to monks' rule, there is no such a rule that monk need to sit higher than lay people who are going to listen to your talk. But actually, the Buddha doesn't allow monks to sit lower than lay people because in terms of culture, in terms of preparation, if they're ready to listen to your talk, to your sharing, they should pay respect by sit at least equally, not higher than yours. So that's why we changed, we fix this problem, we added. Actually, please understand, I'm not sure where should I look or anywhere.
We have
Okay.
camera,
So everyone on. So it depends on your editor, right? So this is for your สบายใจ so your comfortable feeling that Kun Aim also never break any rule regarding this, and I also never do. So
that's a Buddhism 101. I think there are a lot more that we can learn, but I will save that for next episode and next time that we meet.
I'll take it as a promise from your side.
Okay, moving on to education, we are discussing Buddhism in English right now. And you mentioned a bit that you got the Chevening scholarships. For a lot of people, I want to explain that this is scholarships from the UK government to give a chance for students from Thailand to study in the UK, England or Wales. Can you tell me more about this opportunity and what did you learn? And to be frank, people wouldn't expect a monk to apply for scholarships, let alone going to study in England. But it's possible and it's actually a good thing.
It's possible because of you, to be honest. Because actually at that time, I remember I think around 2014, I kind of engaged with the peace work in the Deep South, trying to, how can I say, just like prevent conflict from like acceleration among two religions. And because of the project that I designed and managed, it received very positive impact. Then some international organization wanted to ask me to share my thought on that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure, as a Buddhist novice, when I was 11 years old, I ordained as a Buddhist novice. I never received a chance to study English. I studied only Pali. And then when I was 16 years old, I got a chance to study Sukhothai Dhammacharat Open University. So that's the first time that I got a chance to study English on my own. And I need to look up dictionary, every single word from the pre-evaluation, like choose the right answer. I don't know what choose means. And because of that, day by day, very hard days. And finally, I can understand English. And because of that, back to the 2014, when I got invited to share my own experience, I kind of มื่อยมือ because of my English was not good enough, a bit exhausted to explain everything with my body language. So at that time, I thought that it should be better if I can learn English for real. And because at that time, I got invited by, I think it's okay to say the name of organization, Pandora. They provided their Pandora Life Leadership, and they wanted their vice presidents around the world to learn about mindfulness in Buddhism. The CEO of this organization himself approached me at Wat Saket Temple or Phukao Thong and kind of tested me, my English proficiency, that I can talk with the vice presidents or not. And then he said that he wanted his colleagues to learn how to pause their life, not just only maximize profit, and that kind of work-life balance. And he, from the different culture and country, they saw like valuable things in Buddhism, which is mindfulness. Now back to the reason that why I apply for Shifting Scholarship, because in 2015 I decided to abandon my religious work in Thailand because I thought that my ability to learn can help not just only Thailand but also the world. And because of that, I decided to go to the UK by my master support in Cambridge first, and then we didn't have enough money, and that's the first factor that I'm looking for scholarship, because I know that if I have like longer time to practice my English, I can do better in terms of communication. And I don't just only, at the time I didn't want just only communicate with people, but I wanted to convince policymakers, influencer in the international level to better this world together. And myself gonna use like religion-based approach based on Buddhism. So because of that, I decided to continue with my education and looking for many scholarship, and then I found your review on Shifting Scholarship. I found information about Shifting first. It's like a, what do you call, ทุนฟรีเต็มจำนวน in English. It's just like, there is no, like, what do you call, force to pay anything back, or there is no condition on receiving scholarship at all. If you receive and you try to bring your knowledge or what you gain from that education to better the society, that's it, okay. But my problem was I never received honor. And because I study STOU, Sukhotthai Thamathirath Open University, like I mentioned earlier, so my GPA is just only 2.86. I, at the time, have no hope. And then I found your review, and it's just like, oh, you kind of encourage people trying to apply, no matter how, their GPA low. So actually I want to say, today, aim hour with me, an aiming high monk who never get high. I prepare that, but I never get a share because of your review that I kind of a bit aim high for scholarship and decide to apply. And finally I got it, but I want to leave one message. It's just like, try it, no matter who you fail or not. So aim for the moon, and if you miss it, you're gonna hit a star. So if I could haven't received scholarship, at least I already improved my English. And it's not about scholarship, it's about opportunity. Ability is nothing without opportunity. And I myself use that opportunity to create another opportunity for people. Sorry to talk very long. That's happened when you invite monk to talk.
And this is actually the point of this show, to listen. That's why it's called aim hour. It's not aim minute.
Okay. Thank you.
I want to say that when I was listening to it, my heart is fulfilling, so I want to press hard.
Okay.
In Thai ใส่กดหัวใจรัว
Thank you for not กระทืบหัวใจรัว
But how was it in real life though? You wearing robe, right? How does it call this? Orange cloth, and you wear this to university, sitting with
not jeans. And this quite interesting because when some people they saw me and they approached me and they, oh, you know how to kung fu? Shaolin monk? Something like that all the time. And because I mentioned in the what do you call, state of purpose letter, that I wanted to exchange. I want to bring the best from both sides, Buddhism and business, to better this world. So when I appear, when my present also like tell something. And when they have like question, they approach me and they ask why I'm here. And I also, how can I say, share with them that the reason I came here to learn. And also I want to bring mindfulness and calmness, like from my appearance, to share with them as well. So eventually everyone like knew that I'm a Buddhist monk, and they said that I'm a first Buddhist monk who was there, and also got a chance to share like inspiration in the annual event called like 7 inspirational speakers something. So at the end, people in lead, they knew me from university to the city because of some of the what they call news reporter came to interview at the temple as well. So I think it's a very good chance to learn. I also have some difficulties. For example, if I study in Thai, they know that I have to chanpain. I have to have my lunch before noon. But over there, they have no idea. And I just like, how do I solve these problems?
They invite you for dinner.
Yeah. And it's very difficult because you may know that in the British culture, to drink beer, to hang out, it's a normal thing. But I cannot go to the bar like that. And once I enter in the bar with my ignorance because it's called library. And I thought that it was library. But it's not. It's a bar, but it used to be library. So at the time I decided to first when there was a break, right, 15-minute break something, and I tried to have my lunch during that time, but it didn't work because it's too fast. When I order or when I ask someone to help with food, it took time. So at the end I asked our supporter at the temple to provide me lunch box, and it kind of back to when I was 7 years old. But it worked very well, and I kind of got a chance to be Thai food ambassador for my friend, because when they saw me having that, they said, oh, what is this? And at the end, because they paid attention, I also provided a project called Thai Food for Good Deeds อาหารไทยชวนใกล้ธรรม because at that time I thought that the owner, Thai restaurant owner, they came to make merit, ทำบุญ at the temple very often. So it would be nice if I, as a Brit, connect, foreigner who interested in Thai and food culture, and at the end we provide them ไข่เจียว first, สมาธิ later. So omelette first and then meditation or mindfulness, and it worked. So many people, it's just like we supported Thai restaurant because they need someone to explain how to cook, and we arrange that for free. And I support the restaurant by the recipe and raw material, and then I did PR to the foreigner over there and take it as a religious and cultural exchange. So it went very well.
I can see you navigating yourself and exploring how to better the world, how to share Buddhism knowledge through many methods, many ways when you were in the UK. What I want to learn is how does the world perceive Buddhism now? Do they practice more as time goes by? What kind of feedback you get when you try to explain Buddhism to the Western side of the world?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great question. I think before I went to the UK, when I prepare, I already learned that actually Westerner are interested in Buddhism like seriously. They even use scientific method to measure like what do you call brain wave, right? When practice mindfulness, and when we search for information, I learned a lot that actually they even apply a lot of Buddha teaching in their life. For example, in terms of the like even abortion, about the LGBTQ. They talk about the right. They analyze Vinaya or like textual study in Tipitaka. And when I was there for real, I luckily got invited by the Meditation Association of Leeds University to teach, to lead meditation session. And I remember that the first semester that I was invited, they expected something. They thought that I'm gonna sit and then take a deep breath, close your eyes softly. I think they expected that. And then I started with the talk, why you here? And so many of them talk about they don't want to be stressful, for example, and someone want to be happier, for example. And then I share with them that actually if you never submit your assignment, even you meditate here for 24 hours, that problem never gone. So in Buddhism, mindfulness or meditation, it's just only one thing. We have like threefold of training. Seen Samadhi Panya, so like bodily action, mental action, and also like wisdom. So you need to practice three of them. And then some of them ask me about happiness because they want to be happier. They see mindfulness as the key for running away from suffering. But my answer to them is just like mindfulness help you to not just only run away from suffering, but also to be steady, to be calm. And then when you never get affected by your emotion, by surrounding factor, then you can see the root cause, right, of the problems. And you will be determined enough to solve that problem. For example, so many people know that smoking cigarette not good for your health, but they cannot help it. You know that you need to exercise, you're not strong enough to wake up and running away for 5 miles, for example. So mindfulness would help you to be stronger, to focus more on what you should focus. And because of that, you can see things clearly. And that's something that I share with them. And I'm not sure that I answer your question or not, but that's everything that I experienced. I even was in the train station and then someone approached me and said that thank you and thank Buddhism for teaching mindfulness. And they brought out his telephone. He brought out his telephone and showed me that because of mindfulness application, right now, his wife, my wife, he said, got cancer, and they have 5 children. And he said that he couldn't imagine how he gonna survive this without practicing mindfulness. And some of people, they practice in more secular way. It means when we practice mindfulness, we can practice in religious way, like Thai people, like think about Buddha, think about Dhamma, for example. But it also, so many people just practice to stay focused on the breath, on everyday life. But the research show that actually religious way, it's more effective. And this is some very interesting because after that meditation association invited me, the faculty of medication, right, or medicine, Kana Pat of the University of Leeds, they invited me to share my experience because this is very interesting. In the UK, even it, secular state, but they know that in real life, so many people live their life on religious belief. They found that so many patients suffer or not suffer because of their religious belief. So they want their medical student to learn about culture, about religious belief. So they send their medical student to learn from different religious places. And the Buddhist temple also one of those religious places. And I was the one who share about this. So I learned what they share.
Wow, that's I can I was thinking along, and you might have seen a lot of experiences. For example, the story you talk about on the train, right? And a stranger approach you and appreciate mindfulness and Buddhism. What are the common problems that people come and ask you for advice?
I think normally, no matter who you are, you share the same suffering because of something that you never expected. Like sometimes your beloved one pass away right away without any sign, and sometimes it's about health issues, sometimes it's about relationship, and also even efficiency and effectiveness of their work life. Because I also was invited to chair in the leads council for the officer. I think this kind of the common thing. People happy or suffer because of the way that they manage their minds, the way that they look at something or some people surrounding them. And normally, because they want everything to be the way they want to, and that cause many problems. To be honest, I think in Thai culture, at least because we experience something like ปล่อยวาง and the เวรกรรม something like that. So I think a lot of things in Thai culture already help people with stress management, but in Western culture, they kind of have less than us because they want their life to be productive. Okay, you need to learn about time management, tiny habits, atomic habits, whatsoever, mindset, for example. And sometimes not all those things can help because some expected things can happen. They also learn a lot from Buddhism.
It's good insight that I get to learn today, that the fact that Thai people have this word that they use quite often, like เวรกรรม ปล่อยวาง Sometimes it could be a bad thing, like because sometimes in Thailand things are not logical. But in a way, people kind of learn how to be immune to things that might go wrong in their life.
Yeah, but to be honest, I also want to share that we should to be aware of, dangerous sense of the word เวรกรรม because so many Thai people, they don't try to solve problems because they think that that's about เวรกรรม No, that's เวรกรรม because you can choose to do or not to do. The most important thing is about I love this word and I learn from I think that kind of their association helping people to stop drinking alcohol. They said that be patient with something that you cannot change, and be brave to change something that you can change, and be wise enough to distinguish between those two things. In Thai, it's just like จงอดทนพอที่จะทนกับสิ่งที่เปลี่ยนแปลงไม่ได้จงกล้าพอที่จะเปลี่ยนแปลงสิ่งที่เปลี่ยนแปลงได้และจงฉลาดพอที่จะรู้ความต่างระหว่างสองสิ่งนั้น So many times I think Thai people, too patient for something that they can change, and that's not good at all.
We have talked about the Thai way, like เวรกรรม ปล่อยวาง but the Western way that have been conquering and been a wave of the cultures in the past 5 years, especially amongst the working generation, to become super productive, atomic habits, growth mindset. These kind of things might be needed for their career advancement, but it result in mental issue. Like a lot of people might not get what they expected. A lot of people they want to grow too fast for their pace, for their experience and their age. Can you what's the word, enlighten me or share me what you think about these issues?
I'm not sure that I can enlighten you because I cannot enlighten myself. But I think the most important thing is about learning process. For me, I also love reading, self-development books in the past. It's like กำลังความคิด The Power of Thought by พลตรีหลวงวิจิตรวาทการ and it taught me a lot. But eventually we also learn bit by bit. I think right now from like how-to books, it also indicates that the trend is changing. They focusing more on their work-life balance, not in Thai, work-life balance. So, and it's kind of paid attention the same way that in Buddhism does. Like for example, tiny habits. It's just like why monk need to wear this robe, why to have the same haircut. That because of the power of tiny habits. When we change everyday life activity, we change, we transform. And not focusing more on just only productivity in terms of return of investment, like after payment, but also like happy workplace, happy relationship. So I think right now, the Western world also learn a lot from the Eastern world. And Buddhism also the one of the valuable access for them. So we see a lot of like by the His Holiness Dalai Lama, like the art of happiness, for example, and also now application that very popular. It's about mindfulness. It's about calmness. It's about how to cultivate mindfulness in everyday life. So I think right now it's better, and I think again, why do I need to say to be honest? Because one cannot lie, but it's just like I love to say to be honest.
British idiom.
Okay.
It's okay.
Thank you. So it's just like young generation, they understand life more. They don't work hard for the, and then when they turn to 60, they cannot use the money. Right now, it seems to me that they know that life is uncertain. So if they want to take care the one they love, or their life or their health, they need to do it right now. So now I think the trend is quite interesting, and I think it's kind of something that because of the power of technology and small world village, now we can learn from each other. And every time when we present or share our thought in the international meeting, right now it's not about being a Buddhist monk, it's about the Asian wisdom plus modern way application, the way that I apply. So for example, this bear, when people saw this bear, I always say that, okay, the first thing that I would like to say, bear with me, because this bear, right? And then I said, bear with us, bear with each other. And I just said that on the 16th of November, it's a UN International Day of Tolerance. And because on the 23rd of November, I visited the Embassy of Sweden and I asked Kun Anna to record this. May I?
Hi, this is Anna from Sweden. I work at the embassy in Bangkok. I think combating violence against women and girls is one of the key issues that we need to come together and do. So this Orange the World campaign is a very important contribution to that. And that way we help women and children come to the enjoyment of the human rights and reach their full potential.
Yeah. So I show this because I want to share about like learning process, because you asked me about the like how to like do self-development and how Western learn from the Eastern world. This is the answer. It's just like it's a learning process from each other. We learn from each other. And when we brought this, it's because of the Western culture or Korean culture, I'm not sure. Because right now we have a group of followers they call Dom Skyline. My name is Napan, right? Napan, it from Pali. Napa, it means fa. It's like your name Nop. No nu pasampao, the same fa, but I kind of the edge of the sky. I mean skyline. It's my name, Napan, Plai Fa. So they call themselves Dom, which is in the past when I thought about the Buddha time. Actually, I saw that there was a trend that some follower who loved the Buddha and wanted to follow I think the same way. And the reason the Buddha himself wanted to be the Buddha because he saw the group of followers like, greeted, excited to meet, to listen to what the Buddha talked. And now they produced it. They just only wanted to, produce bear or doll. And then when I received this, I turned it into amplifier voice for youth and women. And I did it like literally because that voice is from Kun Anna, who is female, right? So this is also there when religious leader in the very big international meeting in Oman, in Morocco, when they saw this, they kind of realized, because in religious space in many countries, it's male space, just only male. So if I never learned from the Western world about women's rights, I never realized that actually I was lucky to be a boy. And I got a chance to get ordained as a novice in summertime when I was 7 years old. That opportunity never happened or rarely happened to a girl. So, and because of that, I try to stand up and speak up more for youth and women. And I received this concept because I got a chance to go to Washington, D.C. to learn about inclusive peace process. And thank you to make this space to be inclusive for monks, because normally it's very rare for monks to get in the television show, especially in the English program like this. And to be honest, because of this, when I carry this message as religious leader, so someone, when they saw this, it's kind of we call butterfly effect or ripple effect, right? Everything that we think, speak, or do always affect us and people surrounding us. So the U.S. Embassy, during the OPEC time, they saw me do this, so they provide me this. And hopefully, these also from our volunteer. Yes. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, IBHAP Foundation. IBHAP is the name of our organization, Institute of Buddhist Management for Happiness and Peace Foundation. In Thai, มูลนิธิสถาบันการจัดการวิถีพุทธเพื่อสุขและสันติ And our motto is peace in one heart, start in one hand, ours. So that's why I'm here in AIM Hour because it's not finished just only in our heart. We need to reach to another one's heart, other heart, and then put your heads together and then put your hands together. And because you help me with that, so may I give this to you as well. So I give this to you, and let's arrange the world together.
Thank you.
I also have this, that this is just for you to see. That one amplifier, right?
That one amplifier, right?
But this echo.
This echo.
But the message is just like all of us always echo something. So let's change our echo chamber into the better one.
If I say something,
Yes.
I want to say if I say something, it will repeat, and it's actually a good practice because it allow you to hear yourself. But if we keep doing this, it's going to be 2 hours.
Yes. 2 hours. So let's stop it. Even the good one, we need to learn when and how to stop as well. So I'm going to put this. So yeah, and if you don't mind, I also want to share that this kind of, yes, please. This kind of how can I say, the way that we try to bring Buddhism to the world. So I chose SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, because when I was studying in Leeds, I learned more about the sustainability, sustainable development, and then I was invited to give my speech in the EU Parliament in the first Vesak ceremony, and I chose to deliver the speech titled From Buddha Day and SDG, From Individual Inner Peace to Peaceful Society. My message at that time was like the Buddha himself tried to try to achieve SDGs in his own time For example, number one, like reduce poverty or eliminate poverty and zero hunger. Number two, number three, good health and well-being. Number four, quality education. Number five, gender equality. He tried to do all that by approaching political leader, economic leader, religious leader, spiritual leader to do that. And because of that, I thought that it would be nice if I can apply Buddhism for SDGs into Thailand and also help this world. That's why when I came back, I registered organization as a foundation, and then I approached Molu, who work on circular economy, reduce upcycling, reduce carbon footprint, and instead of waste, we use the waste cloth in the industry to produce this bag. And I, as a Buddhist monk, I carry the message like this, Buddhism for SDG. And we can ask people to scan QR code, learn more about Buddhism for SDG, and also know that this bag reduce carbon footprint like 4.11 kilogram, equal drive a car for 34 kilometers. And I also brought this to Workpoint Show หลวงพี่ช่วยด้วย as well. This one we call ผ้ารับประเคนลดโลกร้อน It's the same idea, but we asked Molu to produce this first because we use the Buddhist aspect of culture. When we receive something from women, right, we ask them to scan QR code. And women run the world. So when they try to, and women run this show as well, right? Producer. I don't want to mention the name of คุณวันจันทร์ because I laugh when she introduced วันจันทร์นะคะ but that Friday. Okay, so this is an example that actually when we talk about Buddhism, it's a two-way learning. Not just only the Western world can learn from Buddhism, but also so many things like environmental issues, we can also learn from the Western world, and then we combine the best thing, we bring out the best from every side and then better this world together.
I like when you mention the three lines that share the same value with Lagom.
จงอดทนพอ
I like that one.
สำหรับสิ่งที่เปลี่ยนแปลงไม่ได้จงกล้าหาญพอที่จะเปลี่ยนแปลงสิ่งที่เปลี่ยนแปลงได้และจงฉลาดพอที่จะรู้ความต่างระหว่างสองสิ่งนั้น Yes.
I think what I want to hear from you is, are there any other wisdom like this that you get to use quite often nowadays? I know that there are million people, there are like million problems, and everything has to be customized. But is there anything that you get to share quite often nowadays?
What I share quite often is about two glasses. First of all, we call like green glasses. Take a look on the bright side. The essence of this story is about you cannot change the whole world to be green, but you can change what you're wearing right now with green glasses. We call แว่นเขียว to wear green glasses. It's just like, how can I say, if you cannot change your situation, you can change your attitude. If you have this mindset, at least you have hope. And I always share with people that normally if you suffer yesterday because of you didn't ถูกหวย it's just like when you lose your wealth เวลาเสียตังค์ you lose nothing because when you were born you have nothing with you in terms of wealth or money. When you lose your health, you lose something because if you were born with the whole body completely okay, but later on you got some condition and your health is not good, you lose your health, that you lose something. We need to be careful. But when you lose your hope, you lose everything. Because so many people, even they lost their legs, lost their arms, but if they have hope, they can still alive, even happily, than people who have everything. But if you lose your hope, even you have everything, you don't want to live anymore. When people get overwhelmed with sad feeling, suffering, they don't want to fight, they don't want to live. Even they know that someone love them, someone want them to live their life. But because they wear black glasses, so they don't see any light. So first, wearing green glasses. But if you just only, enjoy tung lavender, it's just like, you cannot just take a look on the bright side only. You need to look on the bright side to be hopeful, to solve the problems. But if you need to fix problems, you need to wear like clear glasses. We call แว่นขาว in Thai. It's just like, if you don't see the root cause of the problem, you fix problem in phenomenal level. It's just already there all the time, and you need to keep coming back to fix those problems because you don't change the structure. Something is kind of the structural violence, structural problem that can bring that kind of suffering again and again to your life. If you don't change people you hang out with, if you don't change your habit, if you don't change the way that you interact with something or some people surrounding you, everything would come back again and again until you change. So wear white or clear glasses to solve that problem to the root cause. Yeah, so these two things that I share quite often. And it's very nice that, like, for example, I also share my true story that, like, when I lost my notebook, my hard disk full of my works in like last 15 years in Holland. At the time, I never got any second to be suffer because it's just like I wear green glasses that even I lost my work, but I never lost my ability to work. I lost my voice recorder and all fine, but I never lost my ability to think. Why? And even I suffer because of that. It never helped with receiving those hard disk, notebook and voice recorder back. I never received that back because of that suffering. So when I know that, why do I need to lose 1 second of happiness?
Went back to what you said about your dom.
I wouldn't say I have my own dom, but because I introduced myself that my name is like Skyline. And after that, they call it Dom Skyline. And yes, they kind of supported me. I think this since the last October when I went on live on Facebook Live the first time. Skyline, for me, it was very interesting, and I didn't expect that because, to be honest, in the past, I work as a Buddhist monk who want to make the world a better place to live, but I kind of avoid from being in the spotlight at that time because I was afraid that if I kind of, people respected me too much, treated me too well, and then my ego gonna bigger. But last year, I think since I decided to go with the หลวงพี่ช่วยด้วย monks help me workpoint show with the ท่านมหาสมปอง at that time. I kind of made my decision that the way that I practice myself, because I wanted to better myself, and at the same time I need to help people to get better. If I was only just in my comfort zone, I can be sure that I'm good, I'm great, because I never faced any difficulty or difficult experience. So at that time I decided, okay, I feel secure enough to stand up in the spotlight, and no matter happen, I can learn both sides. I mean, if my ego bigger, I would realize that, oh, I need to practice more. But in the case I can still humble and do what I have to do, it means my practice works. I have learned this in the hard way because in my first 22 years of monkhood, I tried to avoid building relationship with people. But last year, I realized that it's just like people learn the best when they have relationship with us. It's just like in the past, I kept telling about many things, but people didn't buy it. But right now, because they believe in me, so when we talk about the environmental issue, right now when we have monthly event, they try not to use single plastic. They try to reduce food waste. They try to do many things, following what I share. And this kind of the very meaningful. And back to what the Buddha taught, actually the Sangha is community of people who are Kalyana good friends. So if they don't love you or if they don't like you, how they gonna trust you and follow what you teach them? And also learn that I myself need to be careful as well, that sometimes don't mix between end and means. So I told my team that at the beginning that we need to build community, but then don't forget that why we build community for. So that's something that we also need to remind ourselves as well. I always share with my team that อย่าลืมว่าทำอะไรเพื่ออะไร Don't forget what is your purpose of doing this. So I'm not sure that
That's a very beneficial for us. I was going to ask about how to handle ego because you mentioned it, but I think you have already answered that. Back to your first intention, always. I think that's one of the things that could deal with your ego, because right now from my perspective, you might have to, you want to expand your knowledge, but sometimes not only monk, me or people need to be humble as well.
Yes.
So how do you deal with these two contradict things?
I think for me, I consider myself as a lifelong learner. I even put it on my LinkedIn that I'm a Buddhist monk, lifelong learner with a holistic view, something like that. I think I was lucky that my dad, actually my mom, who was the one who cultivated kindness, compassion in my life, but my dad also played a crucial role. And he was the one who wanted me to realize about my ego when I was 15 years old. At the time, I received in Thai it called ประโยค5. It means level 5 of Pali education. There are 9 levels of Pali education. At the time, I was so young, but I was a teacher already. I got a chance to be just only one novice who teach monks and many novices. And at the time, I still felt that I was humble. But my dad want my brother and me to go to practice in the forest temple in Ubon Ratchathani, because he said that ถ้าไม่ระวังเดี๋ยวจะกลายเป็นปริยัติงูพิษ It means if I study Pali or Tipitaka too much but don't bring it to practice, I'm gonna have super ego and bite myself with what I learned. I told him that honestly that I didn't feel that I have that kind of ego. I very humble, and everyone in Wat Krongpo temple in Uttaradit knew that. But I went there to Ubon Ratchathani. When I was there, it's just we had one meal. And I was the one who sit the last. The head monk sit over there, and me at the end of the row. And because we have one meal, we have in our bowl ฉันในบาตรมื้อเดียว and it's just I saw myself because in Wat Krongpo, in Krongpo temple in Wat Krongpo, it's just everyone honor us because our education. But over there, it's just it's about sila, it's about monkhood, it's about novicehood. So we need to wait at the end and think about the 15 novice saw many delicious things that we have no right, because along the way that some monk gonna take that bread like that, and then until us it's just I could see myself that even just only normal thing like food, we still have greed. We wanted to have delicious thing, and after that it's just the way that monks treat us. They wanted to train us, so they kind of they're a bit how can I say, like for example ยืนอยู่ได้ไงคำหัวผู้ใหญ่นั่งลง like on your knee right now, something like that. And it's just like my ego never get hit by that kind of thing before. And I felt that, oh, the way that I thought that I had no ego, actually there is. But in the past, when I was in the place that they honor us, we never saw it. Right now, I saw it. I told a very long story because I wanted to say that I was lucky to receive that chance. So when I was young, I saw that the most dangerous thing is about you think that you have no ego, and that kind of the most dangerous ego, that the way that I think we should learn how to deal with ego. First, realize that you may have that ego that you never thought that you have. Second, if you see how big your ego is, try to what they call demolish it, eliminate it from time to time by learning more, listening to people more, doing something that maybe it's kind of their hit your ego. Like for example, you can practice listening to someone criticize on you by not replying anything. Just accept that. And keep in mind that you cannot make everyone have the right attitude on you. Someone will misunderstand you. To practice like this also kind of eliminate your ego as well.
Coming to the last part, and this is the thing that I commit to, learn about political side of everything. The societal aspect of Buddhism, I think in the last year we get to see พระไพวัน พระมหาสมปอง they were being very popular. Nowadays they have to, I don't know the word in English, but ศึก they are not a monk anymore. I think my question is that it's a bit of pity that we lose a monk who is such a good communicator. This is not a question, but this is what I feel, and I just want to hear your opinion about how to make Buddhism sustainable. Because I read news every day, bad monks are still in temple, but the good ones are gone.
The good one in this studio. Just kidding. So I think to share my opinion with you, I think we can wear green glasses. At least we can see that Buddhism can create positive impact to this society, and monks can do that. I think on the 3rd of September, like last year, on that show, 200,000 viewers on live, and every brand were there to share their what they call ability to be seen or something like that. It means Buddhism can better this society, but we need also better communicator monks. And on the other hand, I also want to invite you and also our audience to wear like clear glasses to see their cost root, right? It's just like why they cannot maintain their monkhood. But actually, to be honest, I think it's quite normal to disrobe ศึก I think it's great for every monk to have a right to disrobe, because if you cannot be a good monk, you can be a good person. Otherwise, we're gonna full of bad monks who cannot maintain good practice. But because in some countries, when they become monks, they cannot disrobe, and maybe because of that, they cause many bad things, bad reputation, bad behavior. So in Thai, we have the word like อยู่เป็นพระก็ขอให้เป็นกำลังของพระศาสนาลาสิกขาก็ให้เป็นคนดีของสังคม So yeah, I think that's two classes that I would like to invite you and our audience to wear. And also in the long run, I think we cannot just only wait for some great communicator to happen, to be born. We need to provide the platform or the space that great communicator monks to be born, like systematically. This is quite sad for me because the great monk like หลวงพ่อพุทธทาส Venerable, the most venerable สมเด็จพระพุทธโฆษาจารย์ P.A. ประยุตโต who received the education prize for peace from UNESCO, and also น้อง Perry. All of those, even they receive education, get educated by the system, the religious institute, like หลวงพ่อพุทธทาส received Pali 4 ปริญญา4 and the หลวงพ่อสมเด็จพระพุทธโฆษาจารย์ปริญญา9นาคหลวง he received that highest Pali education when he was a novice, and the same as น้อง Perry also received Pali 9 education when he was a novice, but the system didn't create them. This is not by process, and I think it depends on those people. Maybe the bad system inspire them to get away from the system, and that's a result. For example, in case of Perry, why at that time he could communicate, he know the audience, he know the society, and he know how to get public attention, how to communicate through social media. Even the end, now he transformed to she, and she also still is great communicator and communicate many important things to this society. So for me, at least she's still doing what she great at, and as a way of life of lay person, she do what she need to do to live her life. Also, น้องมหาสมปอง he's also the same, and I don't think it's because of the system make them to go away. I think in real life, everyone, like when we are Buddhist monk, I think it's like when you work, at a certain point, maybe you need to make decision that you're gonna keep doing this or you're gonna choose different way. So in Buddhism, we have 4 groups like Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Ubasok, Upasika. So it's okay to be just only good lay people, both male and female. You don't need to be a monk. But yes, definitely to be a Buddhist monk, you can do more in terms of helping people. Because right now, Perry, she need to sell her namprik and also need to, present on many show. So some show it's good for communicate for delivering the message regarding Buddhism, but some not. That's the way of life of lay person. So we need to understand limitation of both sides. To be a Buddhist monk has a benefit, and also lay person also have totally different in a way.
Final request in Thai or English, both are fine. Coming to New Year, ขอพรครับ อยากจะให้ปิดท้าย anything that you think would be good hearing for the audience, the younger one. I think most of our audience are young generation and they are quite frustrated with how things are. They are anxious with their life, so wishes for New Year.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for this opportunity. First of all, porn in Pali is vara, the same word with pra. So vara, porn, pra, it means noble, ประเสริฐ. So to receive this nobleness, right, or ความประเสริฐนี้, it starts with your own thought. Don't leave your nobleness or noble things in someone's words. You can create that on your own. In Buddhism, the Buddha said that sati mato sattha mattang. It means a person with mindfulness can create his or her own luck. From now on, just only be patient with what you cannot change, and be brave to change what you can change, and be thoughtful enough to distinguish between those two things.
Thank you very much. I think I can read my producer mind, and she will want me to ask you one last thing.
Okay.
How was your experience discussing Buddhism in English with me? We are both Thai. It can be awkward sometimes to speak in English.
Yeah.
But our show designed to encourage people to discuss more globally.
That's what I highly appreciated that. I also felt that in the past because I thought that I would wait until my English is perfect and then I'm gonna speak, I'm gonna deliver my talk. But if you never practice, your English never been perfect. And even you practice, maybe you're not perfect. So for me, because I learning that no one is perfect, ไม่มีใครสมบูรณ์แบบ so I decide to be this perfect. I เป็นแบบสมบูรณ์เลยเป็นพระอ้วนนิดๆ so this is very new experience for me and I'm very impressed and thank you for your patience as well. For your information, I mean audience, I got sick before this, so I kind of postponed 2 times before this one. And thank you for producer and you for kindly allowing me to be on the show this time. So I think this is very meaningful for me and also for our Dom Skyline because I share with them every time that I went on live that okay, tomorrow I need to go to this kind with Kun Aim hour or something like that, and I talk about what I received from your review on Chevening Scholarship. So they kind of look forward to hearing this as well. So I think this is something that we appreciate it, and we also have the show on the third day called Next Fit ภาษาอังกฤษปนไทย with the same purpose with you have been doing right now. So thank you very much, and hopefully from Aim Hour you gonna give us honor to be on my Monk Hour Next Fit ภาษาอังกฤษปนไทย. Thank you very much for this valuable experience. My English is not good enough to express my gratitude toward your competence and your kindness and your generosity because I felt that you're trying to do what you have been doing now because you want to see this society, this world better and better. And I remember what you wrote on many reviews. So thank you for that. Thank you for you being who you are and try to expand that to the world.
Thank you very much. It's been a very good hour. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you.
Workpoint Today สาระความรู้เพื่อวันนี้